Hello guys, welcome back. So in this video we are going to talk about what to expect in this coming week for the weekly analysis. The week starts on the 7th through 11th of August 2023. Now we're going to make analysis regarding the dollar index and the euro dollar and how this affects every other USD pairs. So to start, we'll start with the dollar index. Now we are using the dollar index because this has a lot of impact on other USD currency pairs. So that's why we analyze the dollar first, and then whatever happens in the dollar index, the opposite in most cases happens on all USD dollar currency pairs. So without wasting much of time, we want to check what we have for the dollar this coming week, what to expect. So I'm going to drop some annotations on the chart right there. For the past week, we saw dollar moving to the upside. Like we say, this is the last week's candle. Now this coming week, I am expecting some level of drop on the US dollar. Why? Here's the reason why. We are looking at this price, like this is the most current price swing. We're looking at this very price swing, and considering this, we already see, if I use my Fibonacci tool to from the top to the bottom, we already see that price is in premium. This is the 50%. So anything above 50%, we're in premium markets. Let me quickly remove that. So price is in premium, and in addition to that, it is in a zone where we have the inversion fair value gap. The inversion fair value gap. What is a fair value gap in the first place? A fair value gap is when we have three candles, yes, like candle 1, candles 2, and candles 3, and then between these three candles we have a gap. What do I mean by a gap? Look at the high of this candle, yes, and then look at the low of this candle. We see that between the low of this candle and the high of this candle there is a space. The low of this candle does not overlap with the high of this candle, which means there is a gap here. That is an imbalance. This imbalance is called a fair value gap. It's very important in price action. We're going to go into details, but not today. And then once we see price trading below and coming back to that same price action, it becomes invert. It becomes the inversion point of it. So price coming back to this point, we call it an inverse fair value gap, just like we see here. So it's acting as a real resistance. I'm not a support and resistance trader, but if you want to look at it in that front, it's acting as a real resistance. I do not want to see price closing above this inversion fair value gap. If it does, if we see price closing above this inversion fair value gap, then I will be expecting higher prices. But right now, since we are still below this inversion fair value gap, I'm expecting lower prices this coming week. Yeah. So that's that for the weekly. I want to drop down to daily on the US dollar. So here's our daily chart, and I want to quickly go back to the weekly so that you understand this. This pink shaded area is the weekly inversion fair value gap. I want to go back to the weekly so that you quickly see that. So this is the inversion fair value gap. Now on the daily, I want to show you that. Here's the inversion fair value gap. I want you to always mark out your charts. I will teach you how to do that maybe later on when making analysis, so that you know where you are, what time frame you are when you drop down to lower time frames. So this is our weekly inversion fair value gap, still here. Now inside this price action for the daily on the dollar index, we'll see that there is a fair value gap. Remember, I said a fair value gap is a situation where we have 3 candles, and then candles 1, candles 2, candles 3. We have candles 1 here, we have candles 2, candles 3. Look at the low of candles 1 and look at the high of candles 3. There is no overlap, so there's a gap here between here and here. We have just one straight candle down between candles 1 and candles 3. So this is a fair value gap. I need to annotate that. Let me take my tool. So from here, remember we're looking at a daily time frame. From there to here, yeah, we extend it to the right, make it perfect. Exactly. So I'll quickly change the color since it has almost same color with the weekly. So for the daily, I would use green. Yeah. So I'll call this the daily fair value gap. Yeah. I extend that to the right. Now look at how the daily fair value gap was respected this past week. This price action for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we saw price moving back down from it. Now this coming week, remember we're coming from the higher time frame, which is the weekly time frame. We have a fair value gap for the weekly, which was respected, and now we're having that for the daily as well. So I'm expecting price to move to the downside. Either expecting this other block or coming to fill this imbalance here. This is a weekly fair value gap. So here's for the dollar index. Now we quickly move to euro dollar. I use the Forex.com server. We start with the weekly time frame. So since we're expecting lower prices on dollar, we're expecting lower prices on dollar. Most likely, what should we be expecting for the euro? I'll quickly zoom in. So we are looking at this price leg because this is the most recent price leg for euro. Well, good. Now previously we came, let me bring your attention to this one. In the previous weeks, I showed my student this price action in the private mentorship about this weekly volume imbalance. Here, this is called volume imbalance. Why do we call it volume imbalance? Because we have 2 candles that overlap only by wicks. The body of this candle is supposed to be in close proximity or same level with the body of this candle. Let's use another example. Look at these candles. We have the close of this candle and the open of this candle at the same level. Yes, we have the close of this candle and the open of this candle at the same level. But look at this. This candle, this is a bearish candle, closed here, and then the next candle opened way down below here. The only price action that we can see is the wicks overlapping. This price action is called the real liquidity void, and definitely we'll see price come in the future to respect this, and that is what we are seeing right here. Yes, the volume imbalance. We call that volume imbalance. It has been filled. So I pointed out to my students weeks ago to expect that as a draw on liquidity, and we actively traded that. For those who are listening right now, who are in the group, you know exactly what I was talking about. So that being said, that was a higher time frame draw on liquidity. We saw price drawing back to the volume imbalance and then now running back down. And here on the weekly time frame, we have a weekly fair value gap down here. Yes, we have a weekly volume imbalance here. So this is a possible draw on liquidity, and then this is also a possible draw on liquidity. So here on euro dollar, we're having a 50-50 situation because price is around equilibrium. It's not on deep discount and it's not on deep premium. But if we should go down to a daily time frame for euro dollar, we would see a clearer picture. Here's that weekly volume imbalance we showed you. So here on our daily time frame, we do not have any form of imbalances. We only have equal lows here. We'll talk about equal lows imbalances in other videos in details, but not in this one. But on the daily time frame for euro dollar, we have an imbalance last week. This is a fair value gap. Candles 1, candles 2, candles 3. It was respected, and then price is gravitating back up. Now for euro dollar, if we should on Monday, when market opens, if we should close above this, if we close above this, then we'll be expecting price to gravitate towards buy side up this way. Now why this zone? Remember, on a lower time frame, this is a fair value gap. So once it trades above it, it will become an inverse fair value gap. So once it trades above it, we're expecting price to gravitate toward buy side. So that's it for that. And then if we should see price go below these lows, then we should be expecting it to gravitate back down to the weekly fair value gap. So what I'm saying in essence in euro is that it is not so clear right now what price action we have in euro until the market opens on Monday. And then when market opens, are we expecting price to either come below this or above this on the daily candle? Once we close above this fair value gap or below this fair value gap, then I'll decide if I'll be on long, on short. But generally, gun to my head, I'll prefer the buy side for euro dollar, since we are having sell side for the dollar index. And I hope you find this insightful. If you are to trade, what should you do with this information? You should go through your weekly calendar and see when we have those high impact news drivers and see if they support price or negate price. If we are to look at for the buy side, then you should look for more buy opportunities, and if it is for the sell side, we should look at sell opportunities, but you should wait for price to go above this or below this before you take any action. I hope you find this insightful, and if this is really helpful to you, I would appreciate if you subscribe, like, and maybe share this video, which would encourage me to do more videos like this. And until I talk to you next time, I wish you good luck and be safe.